you feel like something has shifted in you, but you can't quite name it, this is for you. So many women say, I don't know how to explain it, I just don't feel like myself anymore. And then they immediately apologize like they are being dramatic or vogue. They tell me, I don't even know if this makes sense. Or they say, maybe it's just stress. As if what they are describing is unimportant or not real enough to be taken seriously. But the opposite is true. I work with women navigating perimenopause and menopause, and these emotional experiences are often the very first signs that something is shifting. If you are having similar experiences, I want to assure you that those experiences are real and they do matter. So stay with me, because I'm going to share the one mistake most women make at this stage and how to avoid losing years to confusion. Feeling not like yourself is actually one of the earliest and most meaningful signals of perimenopause. The reason why it is so confusing is because it often shows up before other symptoms we generally expect, before hot flashes occur, before sleep issues become a pattern, before lab tests can indicate that hormonal levels are changing. So women are left thinking, something feels off, but I can't point to anything concrete. And when you can't point to something concrete, you start doubting yourself. What's really going on here is not that you are losing yourself, it's that your body is changing how it communicates with you. You see, hormones don't just regulate cycles, they influence how your entire system functions day to day. They affect your emotions, your stress tolerance, your memory, your ability to focus, and even your sense of safety in the world. So that inner sense of who you are can feel off. And the way you respond to life no longer feels familiar to you. This is where women start saying things like, why did it bother me so much? That doesn't feel like me. I used to handle this kind of things so easily. And then decisions start to feel heavier. Your reactions feel unfamiliar. Your confidence erodes. Not because you are weak, not because you are failing, but because what you feel inside no longer matches the life you are living on outside. The disconnect is incredibly destabilizing. Here is the mistake most women make at this stage. They assume this means they need to fix themselves. So they push harder. They try to be more disciplined, more productive, more positive. They assume it's mindset. They assume it's stress. But it isn't a motivation problem. It is menopause. And treating it like a flaw or imperfection can only deepen the disconnect. What you actually need first is not fixing. It's recognition. Understanding that what you are experiencing has a physiological basis brings enormous amount of relief. Because the moment you realize this is not me failing, this is my body changing, something softens. Self-blame loosens its grip. Confusion starts to make sense. And clarity begins to replace fear. This is also why guessing, Googling, or treating symptoms in isolation so often makes things worse. Because it skips a critical step. It skips the step where you reconnect with what your body is actually communicating as a system, not as a random, disconnected symptoms. When you jump straight to fixes, you miss the pattern. And without the pattern, nothing feels grounded. This is where awareness changes everything. When you start tracking patterns, when you begin noticing how your symptoms relate to each other, when you understand that the way you experience menopause is different from anyone else, something shifts. You stop fighting your body. You stop questioning your sanity. And I want you to hear this. The moment you start feeling like yourself again, it's going to be because you learned how to move forward with awareness, with understanding, with self-trust. That's how your identity stabilizes again. So if you ever thought, I don't feel like myself anymore and I don't know why, I want you to hear this. That feeling is not random. It is not weakness. It is not something to ignore either. It's information. And when you know how to listen to it, everything changes. If this resonated with you, comment me. And remember, you are not alone in this. Welcome to the Pause.